Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the Power Rangers, in particular the Power Rangers movie, in particular the one from 2017. Because it turns out, obviously I was looking into it because I was actually curious myself, because I saw stuff popping up here and there, but it didn't answer really what I really wanted to know, and whether or not there was going to be a sequel to said Power Ranger movie. Because apparently, like, the rights to the whole Power Ranger stuff kind of fell to someone else, because now Hasbro ended up buying the rights to it. So, and it turns out, I was just reading an article that's saying that yes, and another article confirmed it, that they are going to make a sequel to that, which I'm excited about, because, you know, obviously, like, the movie didn't do well, but I really liked it. It's actually something interesting. Like, I'll reference, I think it was Lawrence from Funhouse had talked about the fact that he thought was kind of interesting, the movie, in the regard of, like, for one, this is like a little bit before I had originally saw the movie myself. He had talked about the fact is that literally they don't morph until like the final 15 or 10 minutes of the movie, which once I saw the movie, I was like, holy crap, he was not exaggerating. It is literally like the last 15 minutes of the movie, they fully morph for the first time. But the aspect for him, it's like, he feels like they nailed the teen aspect of it, but not so much the Power Ranger aspect. Me personally, I like the movie as a whole. I was actually surprised. Once again, like, I grew up watching a lot of Power Rangers, because the last Power Rangers I watched was Dino Thunder. It was the last one I actively watched and paid attention to. Some of the ones after that I caught glimpses of, but I just wasn't really into it. It's everything from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to there. I'd pretty much seen everything in between. I might not have seen all of it, but I saw good chunks of it, because I grew up with Power Rangers. That's something I feel like the movie nailed, because I don't remember when I was younger, in particular, let's use Mighty Morphin for an example. I don't remember if I ever cared too much about the kid side of things. Like, it's like, no morph, I don't care. Because it's interesting, because the movie, like, obviously the TV shows would do like, oh, like half the episode they're not morphed and the other half they're fighting and stuff like that. But I don't know if that's something, I don't remember how I was as a kid. I'm pretty sure all I cared about was the morphing stuff. I never cared too much about the teen drama aspect of it. I don't even remember that element playing a part. Like, even amongst all the other Power Rangers, it plays a role, like the character development, but at the time I never appreciated it. Going back and rewatching them now, I'd probably care a lot more, because like, that's one of my favorite aspects of a story, is characters developing, understanding them, their motivations, and why they are the way that they are, and kind of getting to know their personality, getting to know them. And I think that's something the 2017 movie nailed, because it made me care about them as kids. I mean, to be fair, it's a good chunk of the movie, but you got to know about their personal struggles and stuff, like Zach's whole situation with his mom, like working, like not really going to school, but focusing on working to, you know, look after his mom and stuff like that. Like, everyone had their own issues, like, that they were dealing with, and I thought that was such a powerful thing. You made me care about it. I just thought that was kind of an interesting aspect. Like, I love the morphing stuff, but I also cared about their teen drama stuff, like their lives, them as people. I thought that was kind of fascinating, and I don't know whether that's just because I'm older now. Maybe I still felt like that back then, but I feel like I really didn't. Because to me, them as regular kids is just, oh, it's supposed to be set up for what's going on in the episode. Because I think there's only a few Power Rangers that actually focused on them actually being kids. Like, in the sense of being like teenagers in high school, because everything else, it's like either like they had, like, being a Power Ranger was a side job to what they were already doing, where they're like, because that's something I feel like, maybe that's why I really like Dino Thunder, because Dino Thunder kind of went back to like almost Mighty Morphin. I mean, it kind of makes sense too, because Tommy was also in Dino Thunder too, so maybe that added an aspect of like why it kind of had that feeling vibe to it. But other ones, it's kind of like, oh, maybe they belong to this organization that it also worked as Power Rangers at, you know, like, or like, you know, in space, where it's just kind of like they're on the space adventure, so there's no aspect of like, oh yeah, we're like normal teenagers. Like, no, we're on a space adventure while also being Power Rangers in space, you know. So there's that whole avenue. So that's why I feel like, you know, certain Power Rangers kind of, like, that's probably an aspect that not all that's an aspect definitely not all Power Rangers have, was the whole like going to school situation. So my thought process behind all of this, the point I'm trying to get to as well, is I'm very interested to see what they do with the sequel. It's something I hope they kind of do like a Spider-Man Homecoming type of feel to it. And I reiterated this upon rewatching Spider-Man Homecoming, is the fact is, because Spider-Man Homecoming does what I think it does an amazing job at doing the character justice, because that's one of the most amazing aspects about Spider-Man, is amongst any superhero, he struggles with it the most, the dual life, like being Spider-Man, impeding and often kind of messing with his life as Peter Parker. I'd be so interested in seeing that, because obviously the movie, we didn't really get too much of that. We got their personal lives and stuff like that, but now we have them full-blown like struggling, like, okay, we're heroes now, but we also got to deal with the whole aspect of like living our lives as teenagers Ranger 2 and keeping that a secret from everyone that we love and care about type of thing. So I think if they kind of take a little bit of that Spider-Man formula and add it to it, like, I think you could really nail it. Like, that's my perspective. I'm not saying like you have to capture like the feel and vibe of Homecoming, but the essence of like what it is, that duality, like Spider-Man, I think is a perfect example to kind of follow by. At least that's me, you know. Some people might agree, some people may disagree. That's fine. This is just my opinion on it, because I feel like if you capture what they brought in the first movie of making you care about the characters and then just add the aspect of like the Power Ranger angle to it, like it probably be, with the sequel, it'd probably be a lot more 50-50 rather than being like 90-10. You know, so I'm very excited. I'm very, like, legitimately, I was very impressed. Like, I was like, oh, I was probably going to watch it anyways. I wasn't 100% sure. I like, even the trailers and stuff made me kind of interested in just the feel and aesthetic of it. But like, I did not expect to care about the characters like as teenagers like that. It's like, even when they were morphing, I was like, I care about what you're doing, all the training they were going through and stuff like that. It's kind of a nice origin story. You know, maybe some people might feel like I wish they morphed a little bit more. I'm kind of fine with it being like, it's weird just because when you compare it to like the TV shows, even the previous movies, which even the movies, only movies I remember, and maybe these are the only ones. There probably were others, but the only ones I remember were the original Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movie and Turbo. I don't remember about Turbo, but Mighty Morphin, because wasn't that the one with Ivan Ooze? I'm pretty sure that was it. They spent a good chunk of that not morphed because they ended up losing their morphing abilities, and it's a whole thing. The whole Zordon thing playing out the way it did. Obviously, they eventually got like, they got those, I forgot so much in the movie, was like those ninja powers they ended up getting later on, and then they eventually fully were able to morph again. So there's that little middle ground that they had for a while in the movie. I think kind of compensates for that. Like I said, I'm curious to see what they would ultimately do with the sequel. And that ultimately is my question. Are you excited for a sequel? Would you have preferred a reboot? Because that was what some people were wondering, whether or not the next movie was going to be a reboot or not. Did you like the 2017 movie? If you did, tell me, how does the aspect of there being a sequel, how does it make you feel? But also, if you didn't like the 2017 movie, I'd like to know, are you excited for a sequel? Like, are you more likely to see it because, like, okay, maybe they made progress to some of the stuff that you might have had a problem with in the first movie? You're interested to see if they deal with that in the sequel, or are you being like, no, I didn't like the first movie, so I'm not even going to bother to check out the second one? Let me know how you're feeling in the comments down below. But really, that's all I want to talk about in this video. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.